August 15th, 1977. A radio telescope in Ohio picks up a signal from deep space. It's so unusual, so powerful, that the astronomer monitoring it can only scribble one word on the printout. Wow. We've been searching for it ever since. We've never found it again. To understand why this signal matters, you need to know what scientists were actually looking for. In 1977, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI, had been running for years. The idea was simple. If intelligent life exists elsewhere in the universe, they might be using radio waves to communicate. Just like we do, radio waves can travel vast distances through space without losing much strength. They're perfect for interstellar communication. So SETI researchers pointed massive radio telescopes at the sky and listened. Most of the time, they heard nothing but cosmic background noise. Static. The hum of the universe. The Big Ear telescope in Ohio was one of these listening posts. It was huge, the size of 3 football fields, and it was scanning the sky constantly, searching for anything that stood out from the background noise. Anything that might suggest intelligence. Back then, computers weren't sophisticated. Data came out on printouts. Long sheets of paper covered in numbers and letters representing signal strength. Most days, those printouts showed nothing interesting. Until August 15th. Jerry Amon was a volunteer astronomer reviewing data from a few days earlier. He was going through printouts like he did every week, scanning columns of random characters representing weak signals from space. Then he saw something that made him stop. 6 characters. 6EQUJ5. That might not mean anything to you, but to Amon, it was extraordinary. In the Big Ear system, numbers and letters represented signal intensity. 1 was barely detectable. A was slightly stronger. The scale went from 1 through 9, then A through Z. The strongest signal they'd ever expect to see was maybe a U or V. This signal started at 6, then jumped to E, then Q, then U, then J, then back down to 5. At its peak, it was 30 times stronger than the background noise, and it lasted exactly 72 seconds. That's not random. Natural sources of radio waves don't do that. They're constant or they fluctuate randomly. This signal had a pattern. It increased in intensity, peaked, then decreased. Exactly what you'd expect from a transmission coming from space as Earth rotated and the telescope's view moved across the source. Amon grabbed a red pen and circled the sequence. Next to it, he wrote, "Wow." He knew what he was looking at. This was exactly the kind of signal
came from a
SETI had
frequency
been
of
searching for.
1,420 megahertz. That number is important. It's the frequency that hydrogen emits naturally. Hydrogen is the most common element in the universe. Any advanced civilization would know this frequency. Some scientists believe that if aliens wanted to get our attention, they'd broadcast at 1,420 megahertz. A universal calling card. The signal came from the direction of Sagittarius, a region of space with no nearby stars, no known planets, nothing that should be transmitting anything. That made it even stranger. Within days, astronomers pointed the Big Ear back at the same spot. They searched for the signal again. They found nothing. They kept searching. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. The signal never repeated. To this day, we've never detected it again. Other telescopes joined the search. More powerful equipment than Big Ear could ever dream of. They scanned the same region of space over and over. Silence. Whatever transmitted that signal either stopped, moved, or was never there to begin with. So what was it? Decades later, we still don't have a definitive answer. But we have theories. Theory 1, it was human interference. Maybe a satellite, a secret military transmission, or even interference from Earth-based technology that somehow bounced back. The problem with this theory? The signal's frequency was protected. International agreements banned transmissions at 1420 MHz to keep that channel clear for astronomical research. And the signal's characteristics didn't match any known human technology from 1977. Theory 2. It was a comet. In 2017, an astronomer named Antonio Paris proposed that 2 comets were in that region of space in 1977. Comets release clouds of hydrogen gas. When hit by solar radiation, that hydrogen could emit radio waves at 1420 MHz. Paris even tested this by observing one of those comets when it returned years later. The results? Inconclusive. The comet did emit signals at the right frequency, but they didn't match the WOW signal's intensity or pattern. Other scientists pointed out that the comet's position in 1977 didn't perfectly align with where the big ear was pointing. Close, but not exact. The comet theory explains some things, but not everything. Theory 3. It was extraterrestrial. An intentional transmission from an alien civilization. Maybe a beacon. Maybe a one-time burst meant to announce their presence. Or maybe we just happened to catch a brief moment of a signal that's constantly sweeping through space, and we simply haven't been in the right position to detect it again. The problem with proving this theory? We'd need to detect the signal again. Without repetition, without more data, we can't analyze it further. We can't determine its origin with certainty. One 72-second burst isn't enough to confirm extraterrestrial One reason we might have missed
intelligence,
it
no
is
matter
simple
how
geometry. The Big Ear telescope had 2 receivers pointing at slightly different parts of the sky. If the signal had been constant, both receivers should have picked it up. Only one did. That means either the signal was incredibly brief, or it was being transmitted in a narrow beam that only crossed one receiver's path. Another issue, Big Ear was demolished in 1997. The exact instrument that detected the WOW signal doesn't exist anymore. Modern telescopes are more sensitive, but they're also different. They scan the sky in different ways. If the signal was a one-time event or incredibly rare, we might never be in the right place at the right time with the right equipment to catch it again. There's also the possibility that whoever or whatever sent the signal is long gone. Space is incomprehensibly vast. The signal came from a direction with no nearby stars, but that doesn't mean it originated there. Radio waves travel at the speed of light. If the signal came from even a moderately distant source, it could have been transmitted decades, centuries, or millennia before 1977. By the time we heard it, the civilization that sent it might have ceased to exist. Multiple follow-up searches have turned up nothing. In 1987 and 1989, astronomers used the Big Ear and other telescopes to search the same region. Nothing. In 1995 and 1996, more attempts. Nothing. In 2012, on the 35th anniversary of the detection, scientists used the Arecibo telescope to search again. Still nothing. The WOW signal remains one of the strongest candidate signals for extraterrestrial intelligence ever detected. It's also one of the most frustrating. Without repetition, we can't confirm what it was. We can only say what it looked like. An intelligent transmission from space. Some researchers think we're asking the wrong questions. Maybe the signal wasn't meant for us. Maybe it was a transmission between 2 other points in space, and we just happened to be in the way. Like overhearing a conversation not intended for your ears. Others believe we'll find it again. As technology improves, as we build more sensitive instruments, as we expand our search to more frequencies and more regions of space, we might stumble across it. Or something like it. For now, the WOW signal sits in the archives. A 72-second mystery that's been analyzed, debated, and searched for over nearly 50 years.
It's either the most compelling evidence we've ever found that we're not alone in the universe, or it's a cosmic fluke we'll never fully understand. The WOW signal isn't the only unexplained phenomenon SETI has encountered. In 2007, astronomers detected fast radio bursts from deep space. Powerful millisecond-long pulses of energy that repeat in patterns we can't explain. Some come from billions of light years away. Others seem closer. We don't know what causes them. We don't know if they're natural or artificial. And then there's the signals we've sent out ourselves. Messages beamed into space, hoping someone might answer. In 2029, we'll find out if anyone heard us, or if we're truly shouting into the void. If you want to hear about the other signals we've detected from space, or the messages we've sent out hoping for a reply, let me know. This is just the beginning.